Hello everybody, my name is Mathis and welcome back to some more Subnautica. It is my first day back from BlizzCon. You should have had a day without Subnautica. However, it's been about a week for me, so it's really weird to be back, but I'm excited to be back. And from what I can remember, we were exploring this alien facility, I think. And what in God's name were we doing? Crap. Could I not? I went over here, and I think I clicked on this, and if I didn't, yeah, I definitely clicked on this. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna turn everything off. Never mind, they won't let me because I'm infected by whatever disease is on this planet. And we've learned that this planet is, in fact, quarantined. Stuff that, you know, again, that has not been hidden in the game for a while now. It's pretty much par for the course for the story. But it's just something that I've never completed before. And I think you can actually cure yourself now. Like, that part of the story is in the game. However, there is still I think the portal. I think I got, like, the purple key card. Yeah, I had to, like, dump things in the water because it wouldn't let me do it before, but now it did. Okay, that sounds remotely familiar. Wait. No. No. Hang on. Memories, not my strong suit. Memories, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Oh! Hang on. I'm starting to remember. Do I have water, by the way? Of course not. I have a purple key card. I got a purple key card somewhere. And there was a force field blocking out an entire area of this building. And I needed a key card to open it. But where was that located? Over here? No, this is this. There's nothing over here, right? Listen, this is what happens, my dudes, when I disappear for a week. While we're doing this, hey, BlizzCon was great. It was my first BlizzCon, and as an old school WoW player, as somebody who played WoW from week 1 of launch, the fact that they've officially announced vanilla servers, and they're gonna do, you know, classic WoW essentially, is awesome. I'm actually very excited about that. And I know a bunch of my old guildies from that time said that if that ever got announced, they would definitely come back to some capacity to play some vanilla WoW. And I sincerely hope that that's the case. Was I just supposed to be going through this door? Did I set myself up to this door and be like, hey, you dingus, go through this door when you start playing again? No. No, I don't think I did. Because this is the button door that leads into here.
Seek fluid intake immediately.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't remember where I was going. But anyway, first of all, cool. The expansion is a cool little announcement. I'm actually very excited about the expansion announcement. It is basically bringing back a Horde versus Alliance conflict that's been missing for a long time. Really excited to see that coming back into the forefront. I hope they start turning some of the zones in Azeroth, like the regular zones, into PvP zones. Because that would kind of like would reinforce it, right? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, okay, well. That's just, you know, that's dandy. That's awesome. But outside of that, also StarCraft 2 is going free to play, which I think is great for the game. And all kinds of stuff. So I'm just pumped. I'm gonna have to go outside and cut some trees, I think. And then we can come back in. Whoop, we're going up. Right. I feel like I missed out on something here. I'm gonna have to check the I'm gonna have to check my inventory real quick. Still love that animation, man. Still love it. But I have to go outside anyway. Yeah, I don't have the purple key card anymore, so I must have used it. So that must be it. Like, I must have seen everything, right? Already downloaded. So let's get outside. What we're going to do is we're going to cut some plants for some water real quick, so I don't frickin' die of thirst. And then we're going to continue on doing the original plan, which is building a base. Also, big thanks for those who are hugely excited about the return of the game. I'm happy to bring it back. I'm always excited to revisit Subnautica. I think I talked about this a little bit. Oh, we're swimming. I think I talked about this a little bit in the early episodes that I recorded before heading to BlizzCon. But Subnautica is always a game I enjoy. It's one of my favorite survival games that exists because it's a unique take on the survival genre. It's not just plop you in a desert island, survive, good luck, comrade. There's like a story and there's a mystery to unfold. And that there's desperately need. There's more of that is needed in this game, or not this game, in survival games rather. All right, so first things first. I'm the realist. Second things second. We're gonna get some food, and we're gonna drink up to the best of our ability, and then we're gonna have to start just building. Inventory is full.
Seek fluid intake immediately.
I am, girl. My way.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Okay. Why does my mouse move? Oh, because it's getting put back to the center where the crosshair is. We're just going to keep doing this for now. So, I can't build an actual base. Like a stable building base, rather. Without a different element now, right? So we need lead, which I might have back in my home. I'm going to have to go check. Yeah, I'm going to have to go check. Whoop, that's the wrong button. Whoa, that's a terminal. All right, let's head back. Oh, also, somebody said on the third tab, aha, I can turn off these. Thank you. No, that has to stay. But that's huge, because I was checking all of those, like, constantly, and they were cluttering my space big time. So I appreciate that. I'm curious if there's any warpers around yet. I imagine that there are. The reason this place can get a little dangerous, if you're not careful, is because there's a creature called warpers. And from my understanding, they warp away diseased folk. If they detect that you are diseased with the disease that this planet is being quarantined from, they will just hit you with a warp and teleport you really, really far away from the target location, which is cool. However, early on in the game, you're not really all that diseased, so I'm curious how aggressive they'll end up being, if aggressive at all. But either way, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. BlizzCon was interesting. Other than the game announcements, which were obviously very exciting, and from an old WoW head who always has the urge to go back and, you know, plays all the new content every single time, I couldn't help but feel like BlizzCon is a great convention. It's weird I've never really done a 2-day convention before, so only doing a 2-day convention felt a little off or strange, like it wasn't enough, but at the same time, it's a convention with only Blizzard games. So, what can you really do with those games? More than 2 days. There's some cool stuff. They had an entire wing of the convention center dressed up and decorated like the Dark Moon Fair, which was really cool to explore and check out and kind of bring back some nostalgia, while also spending real life money, you know, the usual. And, you know, each area was really well decorated. I felt bad for the Diablo 3 area. The Diablo 3 area, no joke, had like 9 computers. I imagine that development team is like a whopping 2 people now. It was so small. Like it basically might as well have been screaming, "We don't care about this game anymore." While every other game had a huge area, and Overwatch had its own wing of the convention center. But anyway, I couldn't help but feel like maybe like 7 years ago, Mathis from 7 or 8 years ago would have absolutely jizzed his pants going to BlizzCon. And I feel like I couldn't appreciate it like I once could have. Just because, you know, I'm not as into Blizzard games as I once used to be. And that made me a little sad, I'm not gonna lie. Just because it used to be, you know, the person who would have enjoyed it back then, I don't want to say it doesn't exist anymore, but my tastes have changed, and you know, my time for MMOs is mostly gone, to the point where, like, I've actually enjoyed the casualization of WoW for the most part. There are aspects of WoW that I wish weren't as casual as they are, but a lot of the changes make it easier for me to pick up and play occasionally. But I was talking to other people, you know, friends of mine, other YouTubers, that what killed WoW, what changed WoW, and why is vanilla WoW so still desperately clamored for? And it's an interesting conversation because I think back about vanilla WoW and I think, man, I actually do not miss 40-man raids where a piece of gear dropped after 8 hours and it could have been for a class that wasn't even part of your faction. Way back in vanilla WoW, paladins were alliance only, shamans were horde only, and you could get shaman gear dropping when you were doing an alliance raid and vice versa. And I don't miss that. And wiping over and over and like enemies respawning after 2 hours. So if you fuck up and have to do the whole fucking raid over again, like that shit sucked. That was purely built to be a time waster in every single way. And it was a time waster because that's what MMOs were. But what is it? Why do people clamor for vanilla WoW so fucking much? Like, what is it about vanilla WoW that people really want? And what I miss, and I think, and what the other people have come to the conclusion that they miss as well about vanilla WoW, is what they miss is the community aspect of the game. With the introduction of like group finders, queuing up, and just being able to more or less just look for a tank or whatever. With that, the introduction of like those specific things into the game, the server communities and all that stuff is gone. There is no more, you know, guilds out there that kind of do their thing, if that makes sense. A lot of all those those tight-knit communities of hundreds of people, thousands of people, was lost in translation when Blizzard decided to introduce group finders and the like. And that was really what I found I missed the most. And it's a shame because everything else, I think a lot of the changes they've made overall have been fantastic to the addition of WoW. I'm like one of those really dorky nerds who likes like the World of Warcraft Pokemon. Like, I love the pet battling system and stuff. But really, the looking for the dungeon finder and stuff has really destroyed the communities that once existed in World of Warcraft, and it really made like wandering around like cities looking for groups and like meeting people and making friends and all that stuff insignificant when I could just sit in a main city and just queue up for dungeon after dungeon after dungeon and not even have to quest, because I have no interest in questing when I can just experience grind through dungeons for better loot, better gear, and better experience. And heirloom gear completely negating the need for any of the gear drops in dungeons as well. It eliminated a lot of the need to do those dungeons for, you know, more than it was necessary. And it took a lot of the magic away, I guess. And it's a shame because, man, a lot of my really good guild friends I'm still friends with to this day. These people that most of which I've never even met in real life. I just I haven't played, or I've not lost touch with, or at least to some degree haven't lost touch with in some way. And I know one of them, Jal, good old Jal, he was a hunter initially back in the day. In my guild, watches my videos and stuff. And I remember when he kind of found out that I was the Mathis that was the human warlock in the guild. And he was a really good friend. Him and his freaking brother, I'll never forget it. I when I first got, this is the type of stuff, this is the type of stuff, by the way, I miss in World of Warcraft. The story I'm about to tell is an example. I'll never forget the time that I got brought into the guild that I got to be a part of, Wild Stallions, which was on the Blood Gulch? No, not Blood Gulch. Blood something. Blood Moon or something or other. Server. And at the time, Wild Stallions was what was known as a farming guild for one of the best and biggest guilds on the server. The guilds that did guild first on that server and all kinds of stuff. And Wild Stallions is a farming guild. It's where you got recruited to get leveled, geared, and then eventually brought over to the real guild where you would raid and get good gear. And I got brought into Wild Stallions, and I'll never forget, like, my first day there, it was Jal and his brother, who's also, wait, Jal might have been the priest. I might be remembering incorrectly. No, Jal was a paladin? Fuck, I actually can't remember. His brother was a hunter, though. I remember his brother being the hunter. No. Here I am. I'm fucking up the story because I'm thinking of 3 separate people who I was also really good friends with. I remember Jal. He might have been, because he was married to a priest. Like, IRL got married to a priest. Regardless, him, another dude named Patrick, and Patrick's brother. The 3 of them came to me while I was leveling and helped me through a zone. And I'll never forget it because I was like level like 20 or 30. These guys came out and, like, you know, I joined the guild and they were like super nice and super welcoming, and I was a warlock and I picked warlock as my first class, which was a mistake. I guess I want to do, by the way, where do I want to build this thing? Maybe down here. And they came and helped me in the zone I was in, having a major trouble leveling in because I was just being out leveled and I was dying. And they came and they basically helped me quest and carried me through that zone after they were already level 60 at the time. They're already max level, which was really cool of them to do. And I'll never forget them coming and helping me out. And those 3, plus one other, his name was John, and he played a priest as well. What they did back in the day when you got an epic mount, which you only got level 60, not level 40 like it is now, certain classes got an epic mount quest, and Warlock was one of them. And Paladin and Warlock were the 2. And I'll never effing forget how fucking obnoxious it was to do that quest. The Warlock one was by and away considered one of the most difficult, if not near impossible quests to do because of what was involved in the type of dungeon that was involved. And you could get, basically you would have to go into a dungeon, you have to do all this demon summoning because you're a warlock and you summon demons. You have to fight off the demons to the point of murdering them all and then binding the dread steed to you. Like, you bind its soul to you so you can summon it whenever you wanted, and you can ride it around. However, the second part of that quest and the second wave was almost impossible to do by most standards, to the point where, how do I rotate here? There we go. I'm gonna put this down here, to the point where the best we could hope for is that we would all wipe at the very last wave, but the demon would die anyway from, like, dots that we had to put on him and stuff. And that's how we ended up accomplishing that particular raid, was that we ended up doing the wiping technique, where we basically took out that last wave and we all wiped and we all died, but the quest was finished at probably the 3rd or 4th try, where the quest was finished at the last minute, and I got my damn quest finished. And I will never, ever forget that. And those guys are still some really good friends to this day. And eventually Wild Stallions, like, we all grew really, really close. And when the time came for the big leagues to call us up, we basically said fuck you, and we took control of the Wild Stallions away from that particular guild and made it our own, which was kind of a cool little coup that we performed, which was neat and a lot of fun to do. Yeah, it's stuff like that. Though the story is a little muddled because it was probably close to 10 years ago now, if not 10 years ago. That really made my time in World of Warcraft extremely fun. And then there's this other period, post the Burning Crusade, into the Wrath of the Lich King, where I brought one of my friends into the game, and him and I spent tons of hours playing that game together, having a really good time, enjoying the shit out of the game, which was a whole nother few years of really loving it. And I've said it before, but there was a time in my life where, like, the only thing up on my computer was the WoW login screen. I didn't really play anything else. WoW was my go-to game. It was relaxing. It was fun. I enjoyed the grind. I enjoyed exploring the world a lot and hopping over invisible walls and all kinds of stuff. And basically, what I'm saying was I was not a huge nerd with no life, all right? I had a good time. And that's all that I gave a damn about. And you know what, man? People are gonna yell at you all the time and tell you what a nerd you are, like, to get a life and don't play so many games and whatnot. And granted, I will admit that there is like an unhealthy amount of games that you can play, and you really should play a healthy amount. But if you enjoy one particular game and people give you shit for enjoying that one particular game, fuck them. If that's your escape, if that's your run away, even no matter if it's an MMO or a freaking weeb as fuck, damn visual novel, who gives a shit, dude? Who gives a shit? Or dudette, play what you love. That's what video games are for. That's why I started this channel, because I wanted to share my love of video games. And it doesn't matter what kind of video games you enjoy, as long as they are what you use to relax and escape the stresses of everyday life and to enjoy things like a book or a movie does for other people. If that's what video games does for you, if that's what one specific video game does for you, then by all means, my friend, goddamn enjoy it. Anyway, it's good to be back from BlizzCon, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's good to be back from playing Subnautica. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know in the comment section below by hitting the like button. We'll be back on a fairly normal schedule today/tomorrow as I kind of fall asleep and fight off the 3 hours or so of jet lag that I've got, which is not that bad, but it is going to fuck up my schedule just a tiny bit. And we'll get back to it starting today. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.